Hi, folks. Hope everybody's okay, and love to everybody out there. I'm genuinely very upset today. Um, just heard news that Charlie Kirk has died. He was shot at a university campus, and he's dead. And I'm really broken-hearted. Really, I can't believe what's happened to him, and how it be for his family. Hi, Michelle. God bless you, sis. Well, what happened to his family? How his family's feeling? It must be terrible. And so his family will be in our prayers. Charlie was an amazing guy. I mean, what he achieved was incredible. I mean, his gift was debating, and I don't know if you can see, but my eyes are nearly in tears. Don't know why I've got my glasses on. Hi, Doberman. God bless you, Michelle. Charlie was a great debater, and he never lost a debate. And in an amazing way, he got the American youth to rethink some of the woke agenda and to come back to more conservative and to even Christian values. And he won that battle. He turned an immense amount. Daryl, he turned an immense amount of young people away from the woke agenda. And he was incredible. He had incredible gifts. And he didn't have a university degree. He was self-taught. But he had a tremendous brain on him and very quick-witted. And, they took him out. They took him out because they couldn't beat him in debate. They took him out because they couldn't beat him in debate. And a beautiful life like that taken away. And I'm angry. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm really angry. I'm angry. I'm really angry. The guy was gifted at debate, and he changed many thousands, tens of thousands of young people to conservative values and Christian values. So Doberman, Daryl, Paul, AL, Michelle, everybody, and anybody else who comes on, welcome to you all. What this shows is that I met a far left guy today in Manchester, and I was having a chat with him, and he seemed very nice. And then at the end, because we had a board, and the board said Jesus was not a Muslim, there's only two genders, and evolution's a myth. Then right at the end, he said, "Oh, you're causing division." And he was quite nasty at the end. And this is what we're facing with the far left and the woke agenda. They want Christianity. They're always saying, "Oh, Christianity is about love. It should stay in its corner. It's all about love." But the thing about Charlie, it was all about truth. You can't have love without truth. And I asked this far left guy, I said, can you have love without truth? He said, yeah. I said, no, you can't. You need truth. And that was Charlie's gift. He was championing truth. And people couldn't handle it. The trans Tifa people couldn't handle it. The far left couldn't handle it. The wokeites couldn't handle it. But he was championing truth, and he was championing it with reason and evidence. And that's the problem with these far left. And I asked this far left guy, I said, if free speech in a bad way, you know what he said? No, free speech is doing great in UK. And these far left, they're deluded. They're totally deluded. Yeah, I know. And the far left and these wokeites and Democrats and all these kind of people, they're vicious, they're nasty, they're hateful, and they say those who are on the other side are hateful, but they're the ones that are trying to assassinate people. They're the ones that are trying to, they've just assassinated Charlie Kirk. You know what I mean? It's not an accident that he got killed today, because he's been speaking out against some of the murders that have been happening. And enough is enough. In UK, you can say a tweet, you can say something and get arrested. But if you attack a street preacher, if you attack a Christian, if you, I got punched at Speaker's Corner. The guy who punched me, he's not been sent down. They've just let him go. So the police can come round your house and arrest you for hurty words, but someone hits you, someone's violent against you as a Christian, or someone who's on the right, and they don't get arrested, nothing happens to them. Charlie was a joy. He was a joy. He was a joy. Charlie was a joy. He brought so much joy. He was funny. He was witty. He was brilliant. And he's got cut down by an ideology. And they'll all spin it. The media will spin it. The media will spin it and water it down. But it's an ideology. It's a vicious, evil ideology. This woke ideology is fascist. There's no love in it. It's a cancel culture, a hate mongering woke ideology. You have to do what they say, and if you don't do what they say, they will destroy you. And they're allowed to be violent to you. They're allowed to be physical to you. They can punch you, kick you. They can even assassinate you, and it's okay for them. And the even worse, on TikTok and all over Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, there are people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and is Facebook censoring it? Is YouTube censoring it? Are the media censoring it? No, but there are people online that have been making videos celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and if that was on the other side, those people would be arrested in UK. Those people would have their platforms taken down on the social media. But because it's those on the right, because it's those who are Christians, and because it's Charlie Kirk who was a Christian, they're celebrating his death. They're celebrating his death. Hey, Ray, I'm sorry, mate. Ray was supposed to come round, but I find it difficult, Ray. I'm sorry, mate. When I don't know where I'm going to be with my wife, like when we're going to be in the other country and things, and it's difficult, you know. So to have people around is just difficult. You've got to be careful what you wish for. These globalists, it's the globalist, it's the LBT alphabet community mafia, the woke mafia, the far left Antifa, and Islamic extremists. All of these are pushing. And all I want to say is be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. Because if you keep pushing and pushing, you tried to assassinate President Donald Trump. You've just assassinated Kirk. You're arresting patriots in the UK for nothing. One gentleman committed suicide because of you. Lucy Connolly was put in prison when she didn't have to go in prison. Tommy Robinson was put in prison when he didn't have to go in prison. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Be careful what you wish for. Because there'll be a day when people say we're not being pushed around anymore. I'm going to go street preaching on Friday. You know what I'm going to be wearing on Friday? Do you know what I'm going to be wearing on Friday? I'm going to be wearing a stab vest. That's what I'm going to be wearing. A stab vest. Why? Because of you lot out there, you wokeites, you Islamic extremists. I don't know if you're going to come round and shoot me or stab me. But you won't get it from me. I won't be doing anything. You won't be seeing any Christian doing it. But I'll be wearing a stab vest. I got my stab vest. I'm glad I ordered it. I got my stab vest the other day. Look like Billy Bunting, but I still wear it. But I'll be wearing a stab vest when I go out street preaching from now on. And I've even ordered a helmet, and the helmet will come soon. I'm serious. You can't even have a debate anymore without these people getting violent, and the police don't really do anything. There's some good police, but a lot of the police now, they've been infected so much with woke ideology. They've been infected with the mindset of the age, all this hate crime nonsense, which is arbitrary. It's not based on any rule of law. It's not based on anything that is intellectually credible. It's just a law, a hate crime law, that if people get upset with you, you can get arrested. Well, that's not a basis for a rational democratic society. Yeah. Well, I tried my stab vest the other day. I looked like Billy Bunting, but I've made a few adjustments, so I'm looking a little bit better in it. I look like an FBI agent now, but when I first put it on, it was up here, and the thing was up here, and you could see half my belly. I look like Billy Bunting, but then I've done a bit of this, that, and the other. Put it down. It's looking a bit okay. I look more like an FBI agent now. And then I've ordered a helmet, so I'm going to have a helmet on. I'm going to look like some guy out of Dad's army. Yeah, but I've moved the straps, bro. No, but seriously, today couldn't believe it. I was very, very shocked to hear what has happened today. I can't believe it. But angry, so angry, because enough is enough, folks. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. If we don't make a stand and stand up, it's going to be like South Africa. Right now in South Africa, there are white farmers being murdered and black farmers, but there are farmers that are being murdered regularly because the government is not facing up to responsibility of protecting its citizens. And there comes a point when you've got to say enough is enough, and enough is enough, and that's it, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it. It's enough. Enough is enough. You want to play ball, you want to play hardball, you want to go and assassinate one of our people. If that's what you want to do, then we're going to have to show you that you can't mess with us. So what you're saying, Jay, you're calling for civil war? No. The first thing I'll do is I'm going Gandhi style. I'm going Martin Luther King style. First of all, I'm going down that route. But what I'm saying is I'm not having it anymore. Enough is enough. I'm not having it. I am not having it anymore. I'm sick to tired of being pushed around by this woke agenda, by this far left and this globalist nonsense. I'm sick to death of it. And when I see someone like Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, when I saw President Donald Trump when they tried to assassinate him, but then now with Charlie Kirk, that's it. That's a line crossed. And then that Ukrainian girl who got killed as well recently. Enough is enough. I've had enough of it. I'm not taking it anymore. I'll be wearing my stab vest. I'll be wearing my stab vest and my helmet. And I'm going to pull out my banner on abortion on Friday. And all hell will break loose when I pull out that banner. I know for a fact because the British public, a lot of these wokeites, they don't like it. Well, I don't care. It's time to push back, and you're going to get some pushback. I ain't going to be violent, but I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not having it anymore. I'm not having it with the police. I'm not having it with the government. I'm not having it. And you want to put me in jail, put me in jail, but I'm not having it. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not putting up with this woke agenda. I'm not putting up with this far left violence. I'm not putting up with a police force that's woke. And I'm not putting up with a government that hates its own country and allows its own country to be destroyed from within by promoting transgender ideology to young people without even their parents' permission. I'm not having it anymore. I'm not having it with open borders. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of a church that's weak and won't speak out. I am sick to death of it. And I'm making my stand on Friday. I'm going to put that banner out. And I know for a fact that Antifa, the gay rights movement, the anti-abortionists and all that, they'll all come around and start getting violent. Well, you want to do it, you go for it, because I'm making my stand on Friday, come what may. I'm making my stand on Friday. I'm going to rub it in their nose on Friday, because if any of them come and get angry, I'm going to say, listen, Charlie Kirk got murdered the other day, and I ain't going to be a Charlie Kirk today. I've got my stab vest on and my helmet, and that is because of you, your ideology, and that'll honor Charlie Kirk by exposing these violent thugs. You can't even debate on abortion without them wanting to kick your head in and smack your head in. What's that all about? And the far left said that we've got free speech. They're off their head. They're absolutely off their head. I'm a preacher. I'm not like Charlie Kirk. I'm just an old-time preacher. But I prepared my notes for a discussion. But Charlie Kirk was fearless in pushing back the darkness. And in honor of him, on Friday will be in honor of him. I'll make a stand on Friday, and I know for a fact, I was going to do it anyway, but I know for a fact when I put in UK, the anti-abortionist lobby are fanatical. They are violent and they are fanatical and they are vicious. And I know for a fact when I put my abortion thing out, all it says is change my mind, abortion is murder. When I put that out, I know for a fact all hell will break loose. Well, let it break loose because I've had enough. And if the police come and start messing about, I'll tell them straight. And if they want to arrest me, let them do it. Because when they arrest me and I go in a cell, I ain't coming out. They'll say, oh, we'll let you out in about 2 hours. I say, you won't let me out. I'm staying. What do you mean? I'm staying. Why are you staying? Because I'm doing Gandhi style now, mate. What do you mean? I ain't leaving. Why aren't you leaving? I'm going on hunger strike. What do you mean hunger strike? You arrested me unlawfully. I'm going on hunger strike. I'm staying in the cell. And I ain't coming out of that cell till my local MP comes and apologises and the top brass of the police comes and apologises and all the officers that arrest me come and apologise. If you don't apologise, I'm staying here and I'm going to go on hunger strike. So get used to it, bro. Because enough is enough. That's it. That's the end of the line now. You want a war? We're going to give it you. You're getting a war. All right, let's go. And that's the end of it. I'm sick and tired of us being pushed around. I'll eat a few burgers the day before, though. I'm joking. I'm only joking. So, Charlie, I can't believe that he's gone. I just can't believe it is gone. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. And what about his wife and kids? And where are we going with this? Because if this continues, if they continue to be doing this, then it will end in civil war. Because when Trump is out of power and these far left get in power again, then we'll be heading for civil war in America. We're heading for civil war in UK because enough is enough. What have we come to? Where are we going? This is crazy. The far left are absolutely delusional. They are completely, and when I mean far left, that means the woke, the Trantifa, Antifa, the globalist, all that cabal. They are absolutely destroying the basic foundations of everything. You can't even have a debate anymore. You can't even have free speech anymore. And yet they swear blind in their own mind. They call everybody far right. If you disagree with them, you're far right. They're off their head. They're completely, utterly deluded. They're deluded. They call anybody who disagrees with them. If you don't agree with transgender, you're far right. If you don't agree with gay rights, you're far right. You don't agree with open borders, you're far right. What kind of insanity is that? It's insanity. It's total, utter insanity. And that's what's killed Charlie Kirk. Total, utter insanity. A huge voice silence. Demonic, it is demonic. Yeah, that's it, bro. They've been brainwashed by Marxism, communism, liberalism, nihilistic philosophy. It's true, bro. It's true. But I think in the end, what's going to happen is they're not going to change. These far left people, these globalists and jihadists, they're not going to stop until they have complete control. And I can do my Gandhi style activism, which I'll do on Friday. It might wake a few people up, but it's at the end of the day, the way the far left are going, the way the globalists are going, the way the jihadists are going, I'm sorry to say, but 100%, unless God comes in with a revival, this is going to end in a civil war in the West between those who are nationalists and those who hold to conservative Christian values against the far left, the globalist, the jihadist, and it's going to, and the wokeites, and it's going to end up in a civil war, and we will win if that happens. Because we have men, we have proper men on our side. We have men. You know what I mean? We have proper men. We don't have like people who complain about if they go to war, they need transgender toilets. We got proper men on our side, proper warriors. The only issue, the only difficulty we'll have is with the jihadists because they have a well-trained army all over the place, all over Europe. They have sleeper cells everywhere. So we'll have difficulty with them, but at the end, we'll win. It's just we're not organized. No, we're not organized and we're not prepared. But when we get organized, when we get prepared, if they want to keep pushing this and pushing it, assassinating people, locking people up for no reason, destroying our nation states, they keep pushing it, we're going to have to make a stand and push back. And when we've organized and prepared ourselves, we will win without a shadow of a doubt. Won't be easy, but we will win. But they're hell bent on taking us down this path. So I'll do my Gandhi stuff, but it ain't going to stop it because these people will not stop. They will not stop. They want to destroy us. They want to destroy us off the planet. They want to destroy Christianity. They want to destroy anybody who believes in the nation state, anybody who wants to honor their country. They want to destroy it. And they want to destroy it from within. And if you oppose them, they will kill you like Charlie Kirk's been killed. So if that's where they're going to go, if that's their plan of action, they wanted to assassinate President Donald Trump. They tried 3 times to assassinate him. And if that is where they want to go, there's going to come a time when the patriots will say, that's the end of the line. You're assassinating us. You're assassinating our leaders. You're assassinating our debaters. You're assassinating. You're locking our people up for no reason. There has to be a kickback where we will take it back from you. And if that means we have to fight the jihadists, if that means we have to fight the far left, if that means we have to take down a globalist government, then it's going to have to be. Otherwise, we're going to be enslaved. We're going to be enslaved. We're going to be in a communist state where we're put in gulags. We are put in, like in China, where in China they will put you on a farm, on a rehabilitation center to brainwash you until you change. And that's where we're going. That is where we're going. Anybody who disagrees with this regime, this globalist, transgender, wokeite, far left, jihadist conglomerate regime. Anybody who disagrees with it is going to the gulag soon. That is the reality. They are not going to stop. They've killed Charlie Kirk. They're not going to think twice to throw me in prison or you in prison or take away your bank account or take away someone else's bank account or to destroy your life or to destroy. They're not going to think twice about it. Well, guess what? After the Gandhi style stuff where they might arrest me and I say I'm going on hunger strike, after that, that's not going to work in the end of the day. There comes a point when the men, the patriots, and the women, patriots, those who love their country, those who love conservative values, there comes a point when we have to prepare ourselves, because right now, all across the UK are sleeper cells, jihadist sleeper cells. There's over 40,000 jihadists on the MI5 and terrorist watch list, right? 40,000. So if a civil war kicked off, there's already 40,000 of them well-trained and well-armed. They have armaments right now. They have guns and weaponry right now across the UK, these Islamicists. If you don't believe me, they've been shipping armaments over the border on the boats. The far left are well organized and they are prepared for violence no matter what, because they see everybody else who doesn't agree with them as what? As far right. So if you're far right, they feel they're justified in kicking your head in. So I'm speaking to patriots. As Christians, we need to pray. We need to preach the gospel. But we need to make a stand against evil and speak out without a shadow of a doubt. But when it comes to the nation, when it comes to the state, we have a duty and a responsibility as citizens. If the state's being taken over by communists, we have a duty and a responsibility to resist. But it's as simple as that. You start resistance, first of all, by non-violence. But when they start arresting you, putting you in prison, trying to brainwash you, when they start assassinating your debaters and your people, then, to put it nicely, the gloves have to come off. Well, the patriots are not in a fit state to take on anything like that. They need to train, they need to prepare, you need to get ready. Those who are in the British Army, you need to come out of the British Army because you're just useful idiots. Get out of the British Army. It's a woke agenda there. You need to get out of the British Army. And they are doing. 15,000 British soldiers have left only in the last few weeks and months because they know that the British Army has become woke. But every retired military officer, police officer, every retired military officer, military personnel, every retired police officer, every retired counter-terrorist officer, every one of you that has retired, you all need to start preparing the patriots for what's coming. What is coming is what happened to Charlie Kirk is going to happen on a regular basis in the UK, and people are going to be arrested and put in prison for longer than a few years, 5-10 years, all because they made a little tweet on Twitter, and that cannot happen anymore. And you who are retired military officers, you are responsible to come out of retirement and prepare the people. All ex-police force, ex-army, ex-military, ex-SAS, all ex-Navy, ex-Air Force, all of you need to come out of retirement and you need to start preparing the people for a globalist government that wants to destroy our culture and our way of life and to put us into slavery. And we have to start getting serious. This is what the Charlie Kirk situation is telling us all. We have to get serious. It's time. It's no time for playing games and messing about. These people the far left and the globalists and the wokeites and the jihadists, they are coming for you and they are going to enslave us and destroy us. And we have a police force that has been captured by wokeism and will not be there to protect us. And you boys and girls in the British Army, the 15,000 that have recently left, you are heroes. The rest of you need to get out of the British Army because you know what they're going to do with you if you're in the British Army. You know what they're going to do. They're going to send you to Ukraine. Why are they going to send you to Ukraine? Because they want to get you out of the way. Because they know when they start to make us slaves in the UK, you working class lads and girls, you ain't going to shoot us. You ain't going to fire us. So they want to get you out of the way and they want to put you in Ukraine fighting a useless war. And then they'll deputize all these young guys that are in these hotels. They'll deputize them as UN soldiers or globalist soldiers. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to get the British Army out of the way because the only thing that is stopping us from being in 100% slavery is the British Army, because there's no way the British Army will ever shoot on its own people. It will not happen. The working class lads and girls of the British Army would never ever do it. But they've got to get them out of the way, and that's why they're planning to send our soldiers to Ukraine to get the British Army out of the way. So then they can start a globalist army in the UK. They're already been thinking about it for weeks now. That's their agenda. That's the only thing that's stopping us from being slaves in this country at the moment. And when you come out of the British Army, you've not finished. You need to gather your mates and you need to start preparing them. Take them on jogging up mountains. Teach them what you've learned. Prepare everyone. Organize. Group together. Get ready. I'm not calling for violence, but I'm saying prepare. If this government wants to go down the communist route 100%, a globalist agenda, and start doing the Charlie Kirk, killing people and putting people in prison for 5, 10, 20 years just for a tweet, you need to be ready to make a stand. And we're going to have to make a stand. If it happened now, we get slaughtered by the jihadists and the far left. It's too difficult. But if you train and prepare yourself and organize in the future, but that's what Charlie Kirk's telling us, is death. These people will not stop. They will not stop. They tried to assassinate Trump. They've assassinated Charlie Kirk. Like Michelle is saying there, MSN saying bad stuff about Kirk, that he posed such hatred that it was inevitable. The young Jewish rabbi said they are wicked for saying that. That's what I'm saying. They will not stop. They will not stop. There's no justification for killing Charlie Kirk, and all these news outlets should say that, but they're not saying it. Many of them are saying what Michelle's just put out there about these news outlet. Paul, I'll be a hit. So let's just be straight on record. I'm not calling for violence. I'm going to be doing Gandhi style. Listen to that. MI5 counterterrorism. Hear what I'm saying? I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying I'm going to do Gandhi style, but I'm telling the British people that you people counter-terrorism, MI5, the British government, the King of England, Church of England, and many of the universities and whatever, you've been captured by an ideology, a globalist ideology, which uses certain other ideologies to fulfill an agenda, and you're leading us down 100% communism. And if you continue to do it, and you continue to arrest people for no reason and put them in prison, and the prison sentence goes up to 5-10 years because they've done a tweet, which is going to happen, and you start putting people in camps to re-educate them like China, and some people mysteriously disappeared because they've been assassinated, like secret police Stasi. If you go down that line, I'm telling the British people right now, and those who are ex-army and ex-whatever, ex-army, ex-police, I'm saying that is the trajectory that you're going down. And if you go down that way, I'm calling all ex-army, all ex-police, I'm calling all ex-Air Force, all ex-Navy to come out of retirement and train the Patriots and prepare the ground. For if you do that, it's not going to go your way. There'll be people who will be kicked back on that. If you go down that way, so be warned. That's what I'm saying. And why am I saying it? Because Charlie Kirk, all he ever did was debate people, and a certain ideology has killed him. And that ideology is rife in this country. It's rife in the political class. It's rife in the education system. It's rife in the media. And that ideology, if it's taken out Charlie Kirk and it's rife here, then it's going to try and take out us eventually in different ways, in different manifestations. And I'm just saying, prepare for that as a British people. That's all I'm saying. It's not good enough to get angry. Those who are ex-military, get some backpacks and get some guys and start running up the mountains and teaching them the things that you learn. And I'll go on a diet and I'll come and join you. Satanic left. Amen. So that's it. I love Charlie Kirk. Really love that guy. I've never met him, but I love what he did. I loved his spirit. I loved he was so clever, so smart. And I'm just devastated, really. I'm just devastated. I'm just sad. I'm just sad, really. I'm just in a state of shock, really. I'm just in a state of shock. And also the Ukrainian lady who got killed, the lack of media coverage on it. He was a shining light. He was a great debater. I think the good thing is that it will inspire a lot of people to step in his place. It'll fire a lot of people up to be doing what he's done, which is good. But it was just a lovely day. So many people around, and they were enjoying themselves. They were really enjoying themselves, and he was there, and he was having a nice day, and Suddenly, boom, boom, boom. He's out of it. He's gone. He's gone. What about his wife? What about his kids? What about that poor Ukrainian girl sat on the bus and that monster, absolute monster knifed it? If I'd have been there, I'd have tore the guy's head off. Christian and no Christian, if I'd have been there, I'd have smashed that guy's head in for what he did to that girl. That's evil monster what he did to that girl. Absolute evil. Pure evil. And then on the media, they're all saying you need to be sympathetic to the guy. Sympathetic to a guy who went up to a defenseless girl and stabbed her in the neck. P53, just take it easy, mate, please. Yeah. No, if I'd have been there, I'd have ripped his head off. So, I'm not calling for violence, MI5, counter-terrorism. But I am warning the British public that you're going down the wrong path. A very, very dangerous path. And we can see it in France. Look at France. France is on fire at the moment. Okay. You're welcome to P53. You're welcome to come on, but you got to come on and be a bit more respectful, mate. So that's it, really. Just it was out today. We had a good time preaching the gospel. Yeah, praying for peace. Michelle, I need to pray. I've been planning this a long time. I do need to pray, but I know it's going to kick off. Definitely. If my people humble themselves, that scripture, can someone pull it up? If my people humble themselves and pray, because that's the key, is ultimately praying, brother. Yeah, definitely. Ultimately, but you can understand how I got upset tonight. You can understand how I got upset tonight, finding that Charlie Kirk's dead, and I know for the fact the media will water it down. Yeah, we had a good time. People, were able to share the gospel with quite a few people. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Yeah, this is the key at the heart of it. Before everything else I've said, this is the main thing. 2 Chronicles 7:14. But ultimately, this should make us all pray what happened to Charlie Kirk. So thank you, Han. Thank you, buddy. I'm rather full. I had egg and toast for breakfast, and then I had a bit of a Chinese for tea. So I'm a bit full. 2 Chronicles 7:14. So yeah, but this is the main thing. So thank you for that, and thank you, Michelle, for passing it on. 2 Chronicles 7:14. This is the main one. This is a counter-terrorism MI5. This is the main thing that we're going to be standing on. Just to let you know. You're still going to end up being communist the way you're going, though. 2 Chronicles 7:4. The 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. That's the main thing, isn't it? That's the main thing. Okay, I'm going to go. I want to thank Paul, Han, Lyons, and Doberman, Michelle, Dougie, everybody who's come on. I want to thank you all for coming. Yeah, Doberman, I took that Banksy picture off because of what you said, bro. So thank you, mate. Pickwick, God bless you. So I'm gonna go. Before I go, let's do this in honor of Charlie Kirk. This is honor of Charlie.
Sofa is thoughtfully designed. Discover our collections on tikamoon.co.uk.
We have breaking news. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been killed after being shot in the neck during an outdoor rally on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. We have the latest confirmed information in this special breaking edition of On the Case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Breaking detail: Trump. He became one of the was fired at Kirk from a building on campus about 200 yards away from where Kirk was seated. According to the school as well, Kirk was taken by his security team off of campus. Now, there is video circulating on social media of the shooting and of the moment that Charlie Kirk was killed. And we cannot show you that video. It is just too graphic to show it here. It is incredibly disturbing, but in that video, you can see that Kirk is hit. He reacts to being shot, falling out of his chair. You can hear that single gunshot being fired. You also see the bullet hit Kirk in the video, and you see blood leave his body. Then there's just chaos of the thousands of students and people who came to hear him speak, running for safety. Now, one of our employees here at Law and Crime has a family member who goes to Utah Valley University, and here are the text messages that they sent to each other in the moments after this shooting. You can see that she says that she's okay. Quote, "I'm hiding right now. I love you." She explained there was a shooting and that she was okay, but she also said that the school was now on lockdown and that she was in hiding with other people. Earlier today, right as this news was breaking, I spoke to retired FBI agent Colin Schmidt. We spoke before the news broke that Kirk was dead. And at the time, it was being reported that a shooter was in custody. And we talked a lot about what this investigation will look like going forward and what charges a shooter, if and when they're arrested, what they could face. Here's our conversation. Joining us now is retired FBI agent Colin Schmidt. Always great to have you on Law and Crime, and thanks for being with us as so much information is developing right now. We know that there are students that are in lockdown right now on this campus. For those who are responding to this now in law enforcement, what are they doing at this point in the response?
Well, from what I understand online, they may have already have a suspect in custody, but one of the big problems when you have a shooting in an outdoor venue is you have self-deployment and lots of law enforcement showing up to the scene and basically having to be organized. So most likely the Utah State Police already set up a command post to bring the people to the one spot where they can organize their crime scene investigators, and then they're going to basically span out, start interviewing people, and determine whether he's a lone shooter or there's more people involved in a conspiracy.
And that was going to be my next question is the, and I know law enforcement trains for this, but there's just that chaos of so many people that were in this like college quad, they're running. This one person, it appears, we don't know his identity at this point, is in custody. How do you make sure in all of that chaos that there isn't someone else who is part of this?
Well, you really can't. When you have, it looks to be about 5,000 to 10,000 people running in all different directions. The only thing you do is you got to start at the source, which is the shooter. They have him immediately identified. It looks like he may have made the shot from within the crowd, and the people, probably it's going to come out that people around him took him into custody, so to speak, or held him. But then the next step would be to do a logical investigation in terms of interviewing him, get his cell phone, do some cell phone analytics, and then talk to the people around there, and then frankly to determine if there is somebody that financed him or put him up to this, or if he's just a lone shooter.
So all of this is just for people who are watching this. I mean, this story broke probably for us within the last 10 or 15 minutes. So it's really within the hour. It appears that this has happened. How quickly do you start asking questions of that suspect?
Well, they're going to have to be careful because you don't want.
Fly to new adventures with Smart Fares.
Amy, go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I hope you... Stop! Stop, folks! Stop! Back up!
Feet away, and it was really hard to witness. You just hear the gunshot, and it was horrible. And all I felt was like everybody bringing me down to the ground, and I was sorry.
Take your time. Take your time. Okay.
All I hear is screaming, and I see people running, and I'm like, it's not safe to run. It's not safe to get up. It's not. And all I'm saying is, please God, please God, please God, because I don't want to die. I don't want anybody else to die. And I think I just saw a guy die,
I was watching the event, and I saw Charlie Kirk start talking and stuff, and all of a sudden and a second later I heard a gunshot, and everybody started like running in like a mob through the doors, and like it was scary.
I was 15 feet away.
Most certainly, yes, they did cause this. That type of rhetoric, you calling people fascists, you basically saying that we're Nazis, taking away people's rights. Charlie Kirk was literally murdered, and you can see that footage online. And I would encourage people, instead of sharing that, please share pictures of his family and the legacy that he left.
Congressman, when he recruited you to politics, can you talk a little bit about your early experience with Mr. Kirk?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to medical school, and he convinced me that politics would be a better option. So we'll help continue that fight and for the movement. Thank you.
There, you're just listening in there, Anna Paulina Luna talking about some of the disagreements taking place on the floor. This during that moment of silence in our nation's capital about Charlie Kirk, his impact there, and now the remembrances as they hope to pray for his wife and 2 children, Erica and those 2 kids. So we're also learning more, hearing more from people there on the ground in Phoenix, Arizona. That's the location of Turning Point USA, the group that Charlie Kirk founded. Plenty of people out putting flowers down on this facility, as you can see a close-up angle, but also further away, as we do see different people already in attendance to pay their respects there in this way, in any way they can, shape, or form. Let's take you right now out to other individuals there, speaking with reporters on the ground in Arizona, talking about Charlie Kirk and what he meant to them.
First and last name, spell it out for me. Very goodbye.
Tommy Richardson, TOMMYRICHARDSON.
Keep this simple. About what brings you here today and kind of where your head's at.
Just looking for a little bit of a place to mourn. As far as where my head's at, conflicted. I would say the majority of people that'll come here today to lay flowers are probably Christians, and Christ tells us to turn the other cheek. That feels really hard on days like today, because I would say outraged and furious is probably how I feel the most, but also distraught and just devastated, just gut-wrenching is how I describe the day. Special thoughts to the family. I have young kids of my own. And just when you see things like that, I mean, I'm in my 30s. I wasn't around for Kennedy assassinations or Martin Luther King or that sort of thing. I felt this way on the attempted assassination of Trump last year. And it's just kind of shocking that we're still in a place where something like that could be happening in our country, where political assassinations are a part of our life. Just felt like we were past that, hopefully, or better than that, and we're not, and it's humbling.
So I saw throughout the day people dropping off flowers, condolences, but at one point it looked like everyone was really gathering together. Can you describe what it was like kind of being in that crowd down there with all of you in kind of that same emotional state?
I think people take comfort in mourning together, and particularly that was just a moment of prayer, where we're all, I'm sure, believers that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and that He's watching over this. And while this is hard to understand, He's the ultimate one in control. So especially asking for blessings upon our country and His family, and watching over this. And while this is hard to understand, He's the ultimate one in control. So especially asking for blessings upon our country and His family. And it does feel unifying to be mourning with others that are feeling the same thing.
Especially being able to come here, which is the headquarters of Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk has very strong ties to Arizona. Do you feel that connection now?
I fully expected Charlie to be the governor of Arizona within the next decade, and probably a leader in the Republican Party, and potentially even a president of the United States one day. So to see that life cut short at 31 is devastating, and certainly it felt like he was one of ours. So it's extra horrible.
And I know that Charlie had a very, very large impact on young voters, especially young conservative men. Is that something I'm not sure if you're within that age range that he would have been going towards, but have you noticed the impact that this has been having?
Well, if you listen to essentially what he did for the last election, I don't know that Trump's in office without him. And he's honestly a brilliant political strategist, and going to college campuses and speaking to students. I mean, you can see just by polling data that Gen Z is more conservative and more Christian than the generations before them. And it's getting out and having real conversations with those types of people. Somebody had to do it, and nobody was really doing it until Charlie started doing it. And so, and he was absolutely unafraid, and that's exactly what he was doing today. And unfortunately, it's just not in a politically safe situation for him to do so, and it cost him his life. So I was just really impressed by everything he was able to accomplish, especially in this last election cycle.
But what do you think is the way, and this is a very, very hard question to be asking hours after the fact, but I don't know, you have this in your head or in your heart of what you think the way forward is healing for people?
We need to get back to church. I think societally, there is a lack of moral values, a lack of emphasis on family. We live in a very me-centered society instead of a we-centered society, a very selfish society. And so I am praying that there is a swing back of the pendulum towards Christ. And I really believe that is the answer. To stop being so focused on me and what I'm offended by, and how much of a victim am I compared to everybody else. I like the thought process that I'm not a victim, I'm the master of my own destiny, and I want to achieve that with my Savior. And so I think that is the way forward. Is it starts in the home, and we need to get back to church.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and I'm sorry.
All right, you're just listening in there to supporters talking about the impact that Charlie.
Sounds like Ojo time.
I'm so sorry, Bill. We do have to let you go. Unfortunately, there's some breaking news behind the scenes that we now have to pivot. We appreciate your time. Hopefully, we can maybe speak again this week on this topic or another one. But again, talking about this breaking news that's just now coming into our newsroom. I have to put this up on your screen. Charlie Kirk has been shot at a Utah event. He is now hospitalized. And so you may have heard of Charlie Kirk. He's known as a very popular political pundit, known for some of his right-wing moves. And so we'll be talking a lot more about this as this breaking news coming into the newsroom at this point. I'm going to be bringing up Josh Breslow as well, my colleague, so that way we can discuss. But ultimately, we do know that Charlie Kirk was kicking off the American Comeback Tour at Utah Valley University, and it was supposed to be speaking there at noon local time. This is where he was going to be hosting one of his very popular Prove Me Wrong tables, which gives audience members an opportunity to stump the political pundit. And so once again, want to bring in now with us here, Josh Breslow. Josh, I don't know if you're able to hear me, but we're talking about this incident that happened there at this Utah University with Charlie Kirk. It's shocking to see that something like this is happening.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully you can hear me, Christina. We are gathering all of the details here in the newsroom at Live Now from Fox. What we're showing you is essentially that post that is confirmed by Fox News. That is the information that we have right now. Fox News is reporting that Charlie Kirk was shot there at that event. And again, if we can, let's put that post back up there on your screen so you can get a better look at just that basic information that is coming in. Now, this was at an event over in...
What I found is when he got shot, a load of media was saying, allegedly, allegedly shot. They didn't want to say that he was shot. That's how crazy the media is. He's allegedly been shot, you know. They're absolutely off their head. They can't even be on it. Let's see what she has to say. The dreaded AOC. Let's see what she has to say. The vampire of the Democrats.
This afternoon. I mean, I think what has just transpired is tremendously disturbing. It is the latest evolution and instance of political violence in the United States, and it must end.
Congresswoman, what message do you have to your fellow lawmakers regarding the political environment? What message do you have to your fellow lawmakers regarding the political environment and the rhetoric that has been put out in the media?
You know, beyond rhetoric, we need to talk about action, and we need to talk about, yes, there are words, but most importantly, we are in a job of leadership. We are in a job of action. We are in a role and a position where the American people are looking to us to do something about this. And every single day, people are dying due to gun violence in America. And every single day, there are people in this building that continue to vote against doing anything. They vote against universal background checks. They continue to support legislation and also.
So notice the hypocrisy there. There's no tears for Charlie. There's no compassion for him. Nothing there. Instead, she uses it to jump on to get a political, to get her political agenda, her political point. She's totally 100% fake. She's got no compassion whatsoever, that woman. And that's why there's violence coming from these people, because there's no compassion. You know.
This is what we are up against. And these were the people who are not necessarily responsible. Sometimes at best they turn a blind eye, then they justify, which at this point is basically being complicit. And then you also have the militants who could do anything, anytime, to any of us. Charlie Kirk cared about life. He cared about freedom. He cared about liberty. Not just for people in the United States, but for people all around the world. That was why he supported me as a friend, but also professionally. He supported TCTV, the early days. He knew that we're all in the same fight. He was recently talking to an Iranian immigrant in the United States at one of his rallies, and he said this.
Country of origin is your family, or
my family's from Iran?
Iran. Okay. Yeah. Just so here's a great example. Iranians, Persians, you guys do not need DEI. You're the most successful immigrant group to America by far, because you're some of the smartest, hardest working, and you did that without any sort of favors and any sort of handouts. I mean, Persian businessmen have done amazing in America, not because of DEI. In fact, DEI would say, oh, Persians are too successful. We're going to call them white, and we're going to try to have another group be more successful. And so that I just, to kind of personalize it to you, Persians have benefited from the idea, don't give me anything, don't give me stuff, just give me a chance. And because of that, Persians or former Iranians are some of the wealthiest immigrant groups in the history of America.
They took him away from us. Let's give you some more information about the moment of the attack. What we do know on this map, on the left, top left, that's where the event was taking place, and Charlie was sitting there on the left. About 200 yards away to the right was where the shooter was located. And the man who was arrested earlier, and we showed you the video, I'll show you again quickly, was actually not the shooter. The suspect is still at large. The threat is still out there. Nobody knows still who it was. Of course, the FBI have now taken control of the investigation. They will find out. The manhunt will be successful, but it's not really just about one man. This is not an isolated incident. Do not listen to the legacy media. This is a virus. It's been infecting the rest of the Western world in general. None of us is safe. None of us. President Trump posted this in the honor of Charlie Kirk, a truly great American patriot. I am ordering all American flags throughout the United States lowered to half-mast until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Governor DeSantis said, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Casey and I are praying for his family. Charlie was a warrior for liberty, and his murder is a tragedy for our nation. That was the governor of Florida.
Fellowship programs. He would read. He would ask for books to read. He would, and I think a lot of people think that when you look at someone in politics, especially at the height that Charlie was at, that all they ever want to do is talk about politics. And when they see, we would see each other, he'd see his other friends around the country, and that isn't true. He was much more interested in talking about the thing that you were interested in. And he was interested in it because he just wanted to get as much knowledge as he could from all of these experts around him and from all of the people who weren't expert, but just had a special interest. And Charlie's interests were so varied, but at their core, they were not merely political in the quotidian sense. They were deeply philosophical. And the fact that he had no formal philosophical training is probably why he was so good at it and interested in it. And then ultimately it was religious. So I think why did we all think Charlie would be president? He looked the part. He was extremely effective at political organizing. He could raise money like nobody's business for a very good cause. He could persuade people through his extraordinary ability to articulate ideas. But I think really what it comes down to is his virtue. And I think this is why everyone knew, his friends, his admirers, and even the enemies that a life in public will engender. They all kind of knew it because he exemplified virtue. The four cardinal virtues: prudence, temperance, justice, and fortitude. Extremely prudent. He was just the most skilled political person of his generation, of our generation. Temperance. Nobody was more temperate. I'm not sure the guy ever had a drink. I certainly never saw him have a drink. He was so disciplined, so temperate, where he got so much of his energy from. Justice, extremely fair to people. In fact, more than fair to people. Always willing to give people what they deserve and more than they deserve. And fortitude, which is the prerequisite of all of the other virtues. The fact that this guy would go into very hostile territory all the time, not worry about it at all. And events that were open in the air, as this event, where he was fatally shot at a university in Utah. No big fences, just crowds of people, most of them adoring fans, some curious people willing to be persuaded, and unfortunately a handful of enemies and some very, very wicked people. Beyond the cardinal virtues, I think that if you know Charlie at all, even if you don't know him personally, if you just followed him, as most Americans have over the years, you'll see the three theological virtues. That's what he cared about. That's all he and I ever talked about. That is sometimes on camera, often off camera. That's all he wanted to talk about. In fact, the last text that he sent to me concerned that. Deeply, deeply religious, deeply curious. I mean, you could get a zinger in here or there, but for an effect, because he really wanted to know God and he really loved God. And I think you just see in his demeanor, in the way he approached people, his friends and his enemies and everyone in between, you saw an abundant faith. You saw an extraordinary degree of hope, political hope for the country, for helping to improve people's lives here on earth, and a hope that's grounded on
a fact, which is the fact of the resurrection, a hope that derives from his confidence that his Redeemer lives. And then, of course, charity. And this I think, inspired Charlie's friends and admirers so much and really scared his enemies, is that in everything Charlie did, there was charity. He wasn't afraid. There was no servile fear whatsoever. So sometimes he could seem almost politically reckless, the way he was willing to debate any idea. But no fear whatsoever, just charity. He was always willing to talk to people about anything. That was what this tour was about, where some of his friends were scheduled to join him along the way. Faith, hope, and charity, very, very scary virtues in a materialist world, in a modern world. And so we, of course, pray for him and for his family. It seemed impossible when the news broke. Such a force of nature did he seem, and so confident were we all for his future. Maybe more than he was, in as much as Charlie had such profound faith, lively faith, that of course I'm sure he knows and knew that every day is a gift, and we're not promised anything, and all we can do is the good that we have with the energy that we have in the day that we have, because we might not have tomorrow. With that, I would like to bring on another one of our friends, Cabot Phillips, with updates about what exactly happened, what investigators are learning now. Cabot?
Thanks, Michael. That was really powerful stuff there. I know everyone at home watching is feeling exactly what we're feeling right here, just devastated. But we're going to try our best to get through the news, get as much of the story out there as we can. For people just tuning in, Charlie Kirk is dead at 31 years old. We're still piecing the story together right now, the details as they come in. But here's what we know for people just tuning in. Charlie was speaking at Utah Valley University. He was holding one of his Prove Me Wrong events. For those who aren't familiar, these are the sort of debate.
Everybody, welcome to another, I don't know what to call this, podcast with Michael Francis. This is actually an emergency podcast. I'm sure many of you have heard by now that Charlie Kirk has been shot, seriously wounded, shot in the neck at an event in Utah at a university there. People, I don't know what to say. I was stunned by this. I'm not shocked, but stunned by what's going on here and this horrible shooting. I really mean that. And you know what, people, I want to give you some perspective on this. I'm not a stranger to violence. I'm not. I was on the street for over 20 years. I know a lot of things that went on, but I'm telling you what, that was an organized crime group. And at times we had issues with one another. People got killed, no doubt. But what's going on now in the United States, what's going on even in the United Kingdom, it's horrendous. These are innocent people getting shot, getting killed, people on a train, people, at an event. And, before I get into all of that, I'm going to try to give some live updates on what's going on now. Let me go through the history. For those of you that are not aware of this, I mean, it's been all over the news, all over social media. Charlie Kirk, who is an activist, he founded Turning Point, an organization that he deals with mostly college and young people. Just talking to them, giving them a perspective, talking to them about what he believes is right, the policies that are right for this country. Yes, he's on the right. He's not on the left. He's not an official part of Trump's cabinet, but he's done a lot, I think, to help Trump get elected by opening the eyes of young people on our college campuses. I happened to meet Charlie Kirk with a friend of mine. He was out here in Orange County at an event, a fundraising event, and my friend and partner Brett and I went to see him. Nice guy, delightful guy, very, very intelligent, carries himself well, 31 years old, and obviously has had a good and great and powerful impact on the young people in this country, mostly men. And I got to tell you, to hear that a young man like this at a college giving a speech, talking to young people, something like this could happen. What are some of the facts that we know now? They claimed originally that they had the shooter. He was shot in the neck. I saw the video of it. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, obviously they hit an artery. Blood was gushing out. If he survives, it's going to be a miracle. I have to tell you that from what I've seen and what my experience is in life, it's just horrendous. Is that what you want, Jasmine Crockett? You want to lock up Christians that pray? You know what? You know the sad things? There are Christians out there praying for you, Jasmine Crockett, praying that you come to your senses, praying that you turn to God. They're not praying for you to get shot. They're not praying for you to go to hell. They're praying. Good Christians, honest Christians are praying for you to turn to God for your own salvation. That's what they're doing. Because that's who we are. Christians are being martyred all over this country. Charlie Kirk, a devout Christian, he's a martyr now because of divisive rhetoric. Yeah, I'll keep saying it. That's the reason. And I guarantee when they get this guy, this lunatic that shot him, and they sit him down, if he has any mental capacity whatsoever, he's going to tell you that he's fearful of what's going on here in this country. That Charlie Kirk supports Trump, who's looking to destroy the nation. There's no proof. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. You people that keep saying that are sick. There's something mentally wrong with you. You're sick. You're so filled with this lust for power that you don't want to get out of office. You want more power. You want to be able to impose your agenda on all of us, like you tried to do during COVID and every other way, like you tried to censor our social media, keep us quiet. It all came out, and people that don't recognize this, you need to recognize this. It's leadership. The same leaders that put us $37 trillion in debt and then want to raise our taxes as a result. We would hope that the work Charlie Kirk was doing on these college campuses would have young, ambitious, strong-willed, rightful people come forward to lead this country. Because what we have now, it's shameful. It's shameful. There's no other way to put it. It's shameful. You people in power should be ashamed of yourself. Every single last one of you that caused all of this divisiveness. You almost caused the president to be shot. And you won't claim any responsibility for it. None whatsoever. None. It's always the other guy's fault. It's always anybody else's fault but your own. Look in the damn mirror. Be honest with yourself for once. Care about the people you claim to care about that we know is all a lie. I'm not going to post any video of this. It's all over the place. We can see it. People, I'm going to tell you something, calming down a little bit. We need to get right with God in this country. I'm telling you right now, we need to get right with God in this country. We can't turn away from him anymore. We can't let hatred fill the halls of justice. We can't let people in power that want to maintain power, that care nothing for us, nothing, and want to impose their sick agendas on us. We can't let it happen. And the only way, we need a Jesus revolution. I'm telling you right now. And listen to me, people. For those of you that want to knock Jesus, don't knock Jesus until you know who he is. You want to do something for yourself, not for Jesus, not for God, not for anyone else. They don't need you. You need them. You want to do something for yourself? You want to make this country a better place to live in? You want to make this world a better place? I challenge you to go to the Gospels and read about Jesus of Nazareth, the man, Jesus of Nazareth. Read about who he was. Read about his teachings. Read about his character, his wisdom, his courage, his knowledge, his mercy, his grace, his love. Read about him. And then ask yourself, is this the man that I want to emulate in my life? And for you ladies, is this the person whose character I want to emulate? And then continue to read. Read the New Testament. Read it. Because Jesus lived on this earth. Jesus died on the cross. And Jesus rose again for the forgiveness of all sins. And if you look towards Jesus, this hateful, same as me. I did some damage on the streets, but I can't do it anymore. Because I want to be more like him. I fall far short. But I've changed my ways because Jesus is the person I want to emulate. And when you live and try to emulate Jesus, you don't live in a pattern of hurting people anymore. Do you hear what I said? You won't live in a pattern of hurting people anymore. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want people to come to their senses. I want people to be forgiven. I want people to stop their bad ways. I'm not looking for sending people to hell. That's what Jesus does for you. We need a Jesus revolution in this country. And you know what? Charlie Kirk was instilling values in young people that they need to have. He was teaching them how to have integrity. He was giving them a moral compass. He was telling them what good leadership is all about, common sense. And he gets cut down for it because of the hateful rhetoric. And you're going to hear me repeat this on and on and on and time again. Do we want to live in a country where we have to worry about our daughters, our grandchildren, our wives? You guys, I'm talking to you. The people that we care about going outdoors because some lunatic out of nowhere is going to come and start shooting people? Is that the world we want to live in? Is that the country, the city, the state we want to live in? Of course not. So how does it end? By telling our leaders to stop this hateful, harmful, destructive, demonic rhetoric. Can I ask you this? How can anybody out there, anybody, male, female, or anybody else, want men to compete in women's sports? So if we're talking against that, it's common sense. It's not being against any particular group. Be a transgender all the hell you want. If this is your lot in life, go and do it. But don't hurt other people as a result of it. Compete against one another. And don't go into a ladies' bathroom and expose yourself for women to have to see. Nobody's telling you not what to do in your life as far as who you want to be. You want to be an it, a them, a the, a dog. Do whatever the hell you want. Don't impose it on other people and don't hurt anybody as a result. Common sense. That's all. Who the hell is anybody to impose that on us? Because you have the power in office to do it? You want to cater that group? Cater to them all you want. Build a city for them. Do whatever the hell you want. But don't impose it on us. Don't impose it on people that don't want it. You impose enough on us. You threw this country into $37 trillion in debt and want us to make it up. You're not being hurt by it. Enough of this leadership. They're not leaders. Trust me, they're not leaders. I know what leadership is. Charlie Kirk is dead. I'm still saying I cannot believe it. It's still so hard to believe that this has actually happened. Look at this animal, fork boy, animal, die Charlie, die, die Charlie, die. You're an animal. You know that? You should be ashamed of yourself. A young, innocent man. Die, Charlie, die. Where did you get that from? If you have any kind of spine, tell us why you feel that way. Tell us why. I guarantee you'll prove me right. Guaranteed. Because all of the lies and the venom and hatred that you've spewed. But here you are, sitting behind a computer or a telephone without even your real name, spewing your hatred. Die, Charlie, die. You're a coward, in plain English. Cuban James wants me to explain his message. I can do that, my friend. But listen, Charlie Kirk was a devout Christian who was on college campuses talking common sense to them about common sense values that we as Americans have. That's it. And I can get into it. He wasn't out there spewing hate. He wasn't going after people. He wasn't, spewing hateful rhetoric everywhere. He was just trying to make common sense so this country can come back to a common sense moral compass. That's all. That's what he was doing. And he was having a tremendous impact. These young men and women were listening to him. Look at the crowd. Yeah, there was some divisiveness on campus, but that's okay. We can have people that have opposing thoughts, but we can't want to kill people as a result. We can't want to call them Nazis and destroyers of America. We can't do that. For 200 plus years in this country, we didn't do that. We had opposition to one another, but not like this hateful rhetoric that's gone on. The lies. People lie day in and day out. They lie on camera. They don't even care. It's disgusting what's going on. And they tell people not to pray. This nation was found on biblical principles. Do your research. Look at our founding fathers. I'm not making this up. When they call for a separation of state and religion, they did it for a reason, because they didn't want the state involving themselves in religious activities. Because they shouldn't. They were looking to protect faith and not make it politics. Separation of church and state. Yeah, states, stay out of religion. You don't belong there. But they reversed it. Religion, stay out of politics. Why? Why should we? As a person of faith, I don't consider myself religious, but as a person of faith, I hope to have a moral compass that people can relate to. Common sense, moral values.
Amen. Amen. So with that, we pray for, keep Charlie's family in prayer, keep America in prayer. All of us, look after yourselves, spend time with your family, and no surrender, no surrender, no surrender, no surrender. Okay. God bless you all. Take care, and thank you for coming. May God bless you all, and God bless you. Bye. Bye.